Let's talk meetings. We're all in too many of them. The average business leader spends 22 and a half hours a week sitting in meetings. And according to the State of Teams report, 72% are ineffective. Now, let's run the math. That's more than 16 hours per leader every single week. 2 full business days lost to meetings that don't make decisions, approve plans, or align teams on next steps. And to add insult to injury, those who weren't seen in those rooms aren't rewarded for the work they actually did. In this episode, we're walking through the meeting mastery method that will help you achieve meetings that respect your team's time and end with decisions, alignment, and ownership your interconnected teams can act on. Hi, I'm Summer, founder of Driven Connection, and we eliminate inefficiencies that stunt growth. So before we fix it, let's name what's broken, because the problem isn't always the meetings themselves. Meeting inefficiencies are more than just specific numbers or having too many of them. Meeting inefficiencies show up in how teams collaborate live, learn together, and land on finality. The right meeting is where interconnection during growth and change happens. The wrong meeting is the one that should have been an executive summary or a 2-page explanation of data that needs a decision with an option for a Q&A. Bad meetings fall into one or more of these 5 patterns. No clear purpose, the wrong people in the room, weak facilitation, blurry decision rights, or no useful closure or follow-up. Researchers call these terms like purpose drift, calendar sprawl, and decision paralysis. These feel normal in business today, so business leaders accept them at high cost. And therein lies the root of many inefficiencies just like this one. And how expensive is this, you ask? Even a 5-person team can burn over $100,000 a year on ineffective meetings. At 15 people, that turns into roughly $500,000. At 100, more than $5 million. And if you have an organization with 500 or more employees, north of $30 million is lost annually. That's payroll going to a workflow nobody designed. Before you count the customer experience hits, the bottlenecks downstream, and the top talent who quietly stopped showing up because the meetings stopped earning their place. Let me show you what this looks like in real time and how the meeting mastery system maps out real client engagement. I worked with a financial services client mid-transformation. New systems were landing on every single team. They'd built a pro change culture, and the team wasn't resisting it. And yet, projects kept stalling, and some teams still felt undervalued. The diagnosis actually surprised them. One of their root causes? The right people weren't in the rooms to be effective. Subject matter experts from execution layers, the people closest to the work, were missing from the discovery sessions. When fast-paced decisions came up, VPs had to bounce their SMEs back through expanded feedback loops to get the hands-on input that they needed. So we reevaluated their meetings, how they started, how they were conducted and who was in them, and how they left off. We brought hands-on SMEs into the discovery. The feedback loops we once have shrunk. Async decisions sped up because the VPs were confident in their execution layers after. Months later, we checked back in, and the team interconnection had measurably increased even in a remote setting. Teams like call centers and support teams that once felt neglected during that change went on to feel seen, heard, and valued. We changed a few things about meetings, and we drove real impact on culture and connection during growth and change. So if 72% of meetings are ineffective, what's actually causing it? 4 patterns, and you felt every single one of them. The first is purpose drift. The invite says sync. The invite says touch base. It doesn't say what the meeting's supposed to produce. Atlassian found that 62% of meeting invites never state a goal, so people show up resentful or confused or both. But not because they don't care, because they don't know what they're showing up to do. Decision paralysis is the next one. The room expands, the discussion expands. Nobody names the decider. McKinsey found 61% of executives say at least half of their decision-making time is ineffective. Only 37% say their organization makes decisions that are both timely and high quality. The fix is naming the decider before the meeting starts. The third pattern is role confusion, and it shows up on the calendar as sprawl. Half the calendar becomes proof of engagement instead of work. Research on workplace performance shows that more than a third of professionals admit to attending unnecessary meetings to appear productive. That's the cost of inviting people for visibility, not contribution. Follow-up failure is the fourth one. Studies found 77% of meetings end up scheduling another meeting. No decisions are captured, no owners are understood, no due dates are noted. So the next meeting reopens the exact same conversation. That's why your teams stop feeling aligned, because nothing landed with them. You came here for a system, and here's a simple high-impact move you can make this week before we continue. And the one that doesn't require buy-in from anyone but you. Document before you discuss. For any meeting asking for a decision, send the agenda and the materials your team needs at least 24 hours ahead of time. The pre-read doesn't have to be new work. It can be an executive summary of the decisions on the table, links to document your teams have already created that need to be reviewed, or key decision points with short context that's missing. The point isn't to create more work. It's to make sure the work that already exists is in the room before the meeting starts. Then the meeting itself can become a Q&A and decision moment, not the briefing. This single move kills 2 of the 4 failure modes: purpose drift and decision analysis before it even starts. This is what Brené Brown means in Dare to Lead when she writes, "Clear is kind, unclear is unkind." Sending the pre-read ahead isn't bureaucracy. It's kindness to your team's time. Pulling people into a meeting to brief them on what could have been a memo, that's unkind, however well-intentioned. Here's something to remember. AI isn't going to fix this for you. AI can't read the room. The pre-read is human work, and so is the meeting that makes it possible. Let me show you what happens when teams actually run this. 2 examples, both public, both at scale. Case 1 is Shopify. In January 2023, the CFO built a meeting cost calculator directly into the company calendar. Every meeting showed the dollar cost of the time. When they canceled all reoccurring meetings of 3 or more people in one suite, 12,000 reoccurring events gone. Projected savings was 322,000 hours of work in 2023 alone. Fortune covered it that summer. In the first 5 months after change, meeting time per employee dropped 14% year over year, and Wednesday meeting times dropped 26% per person. Case 2 is Atlassian's Loom team. They piloted a single weekly no meeting day. After the pilot, they surveyed the team. 85% wanted to keep it permanently. 75% rated it a value add. 97% participated in the activity. So they made it permanent. One day, held consistently with no meetings. Both companies started the same way. They made meetings earn their place every time, not only on a quarterly retreat. That consistency is a whole game. It's about where most teams collapse, because making a rule once is easy and holding a rule every week is the work. You don't need a meeting cost calculator on your calendar to do this. You don't need to be enterprise-sized either. Pick one reoccurring meeting on your team's calendar this week and ask whether it has a purpose, a decider, and a closure protocol. If it doesn't have all 3, you have 2 clear options. Redesign it for next time, or kill it for 30 days and watch and see what breaks. Both options work depending on your environment. The one that doesn't work is leaving it alone. Here's the system you came for. 3 steps, and we call it the meeting mastery. The hardest is step 3. That's where most teams collapse, even ones who run 1 or 2 meetings really well. You're going to want to watch for that. Step 1. Agenda and pre-reads sent at least 24 hours ahead of time. The agenda names the questions, the deciders, the topic owners, and the time allowed for each topic. That lets people flag if the topic needs more time before the meeting starts. The pre-read isn't new work. It can be an executive summary, links to the documents that could already be reviewed, or decision points with short context. Step 2, conducting the meeting. Open by reading the question and the desired outcome out loud. Hold the live time to the frame. Build in a check-in before the close, 5 minutes for a 30-minute meeting, 10 for an hour or more, and to address those Q&As that come up as a result of the decisions on the table. Use this exact phrasing. Is this the decision we're making? Are we approving this? Who owns the next step and by when? Don't let people leave with different versions of what happened. Step 3, follow-up. Within 24 hours, send a short written summary. Decisions made, owners decided, due date set. One channel for async clarification. This is the step every team thinks they're doing and almost no one is doing consistently. This is what makes next meetings unnecessary. Now, here we're going to have a quick recap. Step 1, agenda and pre-read. Send them 24 hours in advance. Step 2, conducting. Read the questions, hold the frame, get confirmations and approvals before the close. Step 3, follow up. Decisions, owners, due dates, in writing within a day. The resources we use are linked below. Consistency is what makes this real. None of these 3 steps work as a one-time effort. They're a culture. Taking them consistently is how you show your team that you really care about their time, not as a slogan, but as a system. When the meeting is hard, an angry executive, a worried board, AI doesn't help. The discipline of running the room is what carries you through. You're learning, you're growing, and you're building a system-led meeting culture where the time you ask for is time well spent for collaboration, decisions, and discussions that lead to finality. I'm your host, Summer Ames Prodan, and we'll fix another inefficiency on the next episode of Driven Growth.